name is Paul Marinari, and we are located in a very remote northern part of Colorado. The building behind me is the National Black-Footed Ferret Conservation Center, managed by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. And our main task is to manage black-footed ferrets in captivity, prepare them for reintroduction, and release them back into the wild. We started not thinking there were any black-footed ferrets left. The big twist of fate was a dog found one individual. Since that time, 25 years ago, we've begun a captive breeding program, have produced over 5,500 individuals in captivity. We've released back into the wild over 2,400 individuals. So going from absolutely no animals left in the wild anywhere in the world, we now have a population over 660 individuals. We're actually inside one of the main breeding rooms. All the animals are housed in here, they're bred in here. We wear the masks because ferrets are highly susceptible to diseases. We don't want to accidentally sneeze on the endangered species babies. Here at the Ferret Center, our population is about 160 animals, and that's roughly 60 males and 100 females. Black-footed ferrets depend on prairie dogs for basically everything. Without prairie dogs, we will have no ferrets at all. Since the ferret eats prairie dogs and occupies their tunnel or burrow system, we wanted to do the same thing here inside. So we have this black tubing that simulates one of those tunnels. In lots of areas in the West, the prairie dog has historically been considered a pest. There was a huge poisoning campaign sponsored by the federal government in the 1900s, which wiped out a lot of prairie dogs. And at the time, we were probably wiping out ferrets as well. The Fish and Wildlife Service decided that the black-footed ferret needed our help. Every year, we produce between 350 and 450 individuals. Of those animals that are produced, about 200 to 220 are actually reintroduced back into the historic range of the ferret, from Montana to Mexico to Arizona to Colorado and Utah. All the females that have yellow flags have litters, so they have multiple animals in those cages. This litter was born in early July, and they're about 40 days old right now. The average litter size for black-footed ferrets is 3 kits. She's actually got 5 babies, 2 boys and 3 girls. We also keep track of how much food the animals are eating.
This bin here of food will probably feed about 40 ferrets for one day. The ferrets come up and get the food and take it down in their burrow because they will eat it overnight in the burrow because they're normally nocturnal animals.
One of the most exciting things that we do here is prepare the animals for release. And that's taking these young, kind of naive black-footed ferret kits and putting them outside. They get to experience rain and dirt and wind and all the nighttime sounds in the North American prairie.
We also will put live prairie dogs in here to simulate an outdoor wild environment. We usually release them with a mother so that the mom can kind of help show them what to do.
We typically would put a family group of anywhere from 3 to 6 ferrets in each pen. They spend about 30 days minimum out in these pens, and then they get transferred back into the wild. It's really exciting that we can restore the black-footed ferret back to this landscape. The backbone of the United States, going right down the center from Canada to Mexico.
What I enjoy the most is just getting this chance to work with a species that was at one point almost extinct and get them returned to the wild.
There's enough room in this huge prairie for prairie dogs, black-footed ferrets, and mankind. It kind of makes you feel good to think that someday black-footed ferrets will be roaming the prairie.